the city of secrets. This is Petra, a the city of secrets. This is Petra, a city not built upon the earth, but carved into it, into blood-red cliffs that have stood for millennia, a place so breathtaking, so impossible-looking, that it feels less like a human creation, and more like something left behind by the gods. You may recognize it. Indiana Jones walked these very stones. But what no film ever captured was what lay buried beneath them. Archaeologists have studied Petra for decades, and yet Petra has always kept its deepest secrets close. Section 2, The Discovery. Then came the day everything changed. A television crew arrived to film an investigation. Beneath the ground, directly in front of Petra's most iconic structure, the treasury, their instruments detected something that shouldn't have been there. Using ground-penetrating radar, a technology that sees through Earth like an X-ray through flesh, researchers scanned the soil, and what came back stopped them cold. Hidden chambers, buried deep, shaped exactly like the tombs found elsewhere in Petra. Jordanian authorities approved the dig, and as archaeologists broke through centuries of sealed earth, they made a discovery that sent chills through the entire archaeological world. Section 3, What They Found. 12 human skeletons, lying exactly as they had been placed 2,000 years ago. No looters had touched them. No grave robbers had reached them. They were perfectly preserved in time. Bronze, iron, ceramic artifacts, all still in place. Some bones showed traces of mold, evidence that water had slowly seeped through the porous sandstone walls over centuries, creeping in like a silent intruder. But the most haunting discovery of all? A ceramic chalice, resting gently in the arms of one of the buried, almost as if the person had fallen asleep still clutching it, as if they had been holding it at the very moment of their death. Some noted an eerie resemblance to the Holy Grail from Indiana Jones. Fact and fiction separated by inches of stone and 2,000 years of silence. Section 4, The Mystery of the Treasury. But who were these people? The treasury itself, carved over 2,000 years ago directly into the sandstone cliff, remains one of the most recognized structures on Earth. And yet, its true purpose is still unknown. Was it a tomb, a temple, a monument to power? No one can say for certain. Most of the tombs surrounding it were found empty long ago, stripped of everything by looters who left no clues behind. That's what makes this find so extraordinary. These 12 souls had never been disturbed, and being buried directly before the treasury, the most sacred, most visible structure in all of Petra, was almost certainly a tremendous honor. Now, scientists can study their bones, learn how old they were, what diseases they carried, how they lived, and perhaps finally begin to answer the question that has haunted researchers for generations. Who truly were the people of Petra? Section 5, The Nabateans. To understand the tomb, you must first understand the city. Petra was built by a remarkable people, the Nabateans. Beginning around the 4th century BCE, they transformed a hidden valley, surrounded on all sides by mountains, into one of the ancient world's greatest cities. Its location was no accident. The only entrance was through a narrow canyon, called the Sikh, so tight, so winding that an army would have to walk through it single file. Petra was, in essence, a fortress that looked like a paradise. At its height, 30,000 people called this place home. But here lies another mystery. This was a desert. Water was scarce. How did 30,000 people survive? Section 6. Ancient Engineering. The answer lies hidden in the rock itself. The Nabateans were not just merchants or warriors. They were engineers of startling sophistication. They carved channels, pipes, and reservoirs directly into the stone, an ancient plumbing system that carried water from distant springs into the heart of the city. They built settling basins to filter sediment, thick stone walls to keep water cool under the scorching desert sun. And when flash floods came roaring through the mountain valleys, as they sometimes did with terrifying force, the Nabateans had already built dams and channels to capture that water and turn a destructive flood into a life-giving resource. They bent the desert to their will, and in 2013, researchers discovered something even stranger. Several of Petra's major monuments align perfectly with the sun during the solstices and equinoxes. These buildings weren't just tombs or temples. They were calendars, carved into cliff faces, marking time itself. Section 7. The Fall. But even the greatest cities fall. In 106 CE, the Roman Empire absorbed Petra. Trade continued for a time, but slowly, quietly, Petra began to fade. Then in 551 CE, the earth itself delivered the final blow. A devastating earthquake tore through the region. For a city already weakened, already forgotten, it was the end. Petra was abandoned, swallowed by the desert, lost to history. It became known simply as the Lost City, and also, for the reddish-pink glow of its sandstone cliffs at sunrise, the Rose City. Outro. Slow haunting. Today, tourists walk the Sikhs. They marvel at the treasury. They climb hundreds of steps to the monastery. But they are walking over something vast, something hidden. Archaeologists estimate that only 15% of Petra has ever been excavated. In 2016, satellite images revealed an enormous unknown monument, over 180 feet wide, hiding just beneath the surface. Pottery fragments suggest it's more than 2,150 years old, and so the city keeps its secret still. 12 skeletons, a chalice in the arms of the dead, a tomb sealed for 2,000 years. Petra is not just an ancient city, it is a question, and we are only just beginning to hear the answer. End music fades in slowly. Voice-over notes. Pace slowly throughout. Use long pauses after questions and dramatic reveals. Emphasize italicized lines. The tone should feel like a whisper from the past. Calm, eerie, reverent.
Yeah.